guys, welcome back to the JENNER Show podcast. Today's special guest is Jessie Mack. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jessie Mack, and I'm ready to get this going.
So, when did you start training for wrestling?
I was about 25. I'm turning 31 this year, so roughly 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, I know you've wrestled for like a lot of different promotions. What should you say is your favorite promotion to wrestle for?
Oh man, my favorite. I feel like I have to say all of them. Mainly because they've given me so many different opportunities. Like there's my hometown Kingston Chinlock. They got a belt. They brought me in, and then that night I won the belt in front of my entire family. So I owe them a lot. Demand Luch is a lot of fun, mainly because I can just be my annoying millennial self, and it works well for me. Death Proof has also given me lots of chances as well. So I kind of dabble with the lucha, the hardcore, and just standard everyday like family fun shows.
Okay. So, how was when you first started training? Like, what got you to be wrestling?
Honestly, I used to bartend for Destiny Wrestling, and I saw Alexia Nicole, and I'm like, yo, this girl like the same size as me, like she's so like short, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder if I could do that. And then next thing you know, I met Anthony Corelli, and then I signed up for this school, and I've been doing it ever since.
Oh, so you trained at Battle Arts?
Yeah, a lot of people don't seem to remember that. Yes, I did train at Battle Arts.
They know you more for the great stuff you've done.
Yeah, like it was true. Like for me, like they gave me a lot of amazing like experiences and networking and stuff like that. I kind of want to see what they're gonna do with it now that it's kind of owned by different people. So I'm kind of curious to see like once the world opens up what they're gonna do.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you've had like a evolution of your character since you first started. So what would you think is your difference between when you first started and now?
Well, when I first started, I had no idea who I was.
Yeah.
I was a manager for the Latin Lover, and so that was my introduction. My first match was a mixed tag match against Pretty Ricky and his girlfriend, and it was like the craziest. There was like 300 people. This is my first match. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Like it was nerve-wracking. And then from there, I started to develop this like weird, annoying millennial character.
Yeah.
And then I got booked in Ottawa for Acclaim, and I was sharing a car with Freddie Mercurito. I can never say his name right. Freddie and Bale, and we were talking about my character and all this stuff, and like they're being like amazing vets, telling me like giving me ideas and whatever. And then at that show, I answered my phone mid-match against Shitty Dash Bison, which is actually his name. And ever since then, it's just been kind of, I will pick up phone calls, or I'll just take selfies in inappropriate times and almost get qualified for it. And then it's just kind of, the more confident I got in the character, the better it became for me. So, yeah.
So what would you say is like so far your biggest inspiration since you started wrestling?
I don't know. For me now, like I'm 31. I'm going back to school. I'm a new mom and stepmom to 2 young boys. For me with wrestling, it's now more just like a fun, and I kind of use my platform to discuss like mental health, because I struggle with anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
And I sort of become like this weird role model for little girls, and I think that's what I want to run with it. Like that's what I want to do. So honestly, the little kids really do inspire me. Just keep going and do it, because even if I'm a heel, they seem to still like me, and it's just, I just keep running with it.
Yeah. That's honestly like an amazing thing to be doing. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so explain your first match. Like, how was it? Like, how did it feel wrestling in front of a lot of people?
It was nerve-wracking. Like I have been in like musical theater, stuff like that. Like I've performed in front of people, but nothing of this caliber.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us to do, it was like a summer heat show, and it just happened to be on the same weekend as Destiny. So I think people just doubled up on tickets, and they came to Battle Arts and they came to Destiny. So there was 300 people in Battle Arts. It was terrifying.
I could
And
see.
like
Well, yeah, it definitely would be.
I was coming out as like this heel, so I had to like, just come out and be like not scared. Like I couldn't show emotion like, but like my mom, my sister, my friends from like college, my friends
Yeah.
from my job, they all showed up and they supported and it was awesome, but I was so scared.
I was watching a little bit of the old Battle Art stuff recently, and I seen a little bit of your promos with Latin Lover and stuff.
Yeah.
There's something.
Oh yeah, no, like that honestly every time I like look back at that, I'm like, this is where you started, and like
Yeah.
you just have like every time that I get so every time I get a different booking, they
Mm-hmm.
want the character, so I have to evolve the character. So like I'm always like constantly like, this is where you started, and like where do you want to go with it? So I've been
Yeah.
doing, that's how I come up with like creative things, and then of course like other people help me out too. Like they're like, oh, maybe you should do this. I'm like, okay.
It's always constantly evolving, right?
Yeah, like I was well, so before the pandemic hit, I found out I
Oh,
was pregnant.
oh yeah.
So I did
I've
the
I
whole
heard about that on Instagram.
yeah. So I went and I'm like I messaged all of my regular bookings. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be out for a bit, not
Yeah.
knowing that in like a week the world was gonna shut down anyway. So I could have just kept quiet. I would have had nobody would have known. And so, but where was I going with this? Oh my god, lost my train of thought. See, this is what motherhood does to you. So I was thinking about changing my gimmick, like
Yeah.
through like just after like I was a mom or whatever, blah blah blah. And then a friend of mine made a really cool t-shirt design and I love it. So I'm keeping the gimmick. I might change how I look though, but I'm keeping the gimmick. I have an awesome new t-shirt design. I can't wait to print it. It's amazing.
That's great because it's like you said, it's always constantly evolving. Even if your character's the same, it's like it's always getting better. It's like new T-shirts, new like catchphrases, whatever, like stuff like that.
No, like
But
as soon as you sent it to me, I was like, well, now I gotta keep the gimmick.
yeah, it's a pretty good gimmick. Like especially if you're a heel, like it really works for you.
Yeah, like I tag with my boyfriend sometimes, and
Mm.
if we come out as like a face team, I'm always kind of like heel. Like it's just like a natural thing for me.
I can't lie. The last time I watched you, because I think my first match ever seeing you was the Revolution match against Lexi Nicole.
Oh
You're a
yeah.
pretty good heel. Like you made me want to hate you.
I have my moments. It's like you saw me like really like I'm more comfortable. That was the first time I ever wrestled Alexia.
Oh yeah.
And I was nervous and I'm like I don't like I I'm more intergender now
Hmm.
because that just seems to be where more of the bookings are. But to be on
Yeah.
an all woman show is like intimidating. But as long
Oh
as
yeah.
people hated me, I was happy.
I enjoyed your match. Like I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I have to actually go back and like look at it because I don't like that was like right before I found out I was pregnant. Like I wasn't pregnant then, but I was like approaching that time.
Yeah, because that was close to when the pandemic started.
Yeah. So
So with all the pandemic stuff, like how have you been like dealing with that?
well, what so for the first part of this pandemic, I was pregnant
Yeah.
and so that was fine. For some reason, I was a lot more like calm and I wasn't freaking out and like I was really like leveled and like stable. And then
Hmm.
after the baby, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like,
Oh yeah.
um,
It kind of set in after like the birth of your baby. You're just kind of like, oh my god, what the hell?
yeah, like I'm like, what am I gonna do now? And like, I want to work out. I don't have the discipline to do it at home. I want to go to the gym because like I still have like that extra baby weight that I can't fit my gear.
Uh,
So I mean, it's kind of like a blessing and kind of a curse, but I feel like as soon as like the world can open, I'm gonna have to fit in that gear. So I have to find a way to lose the weight and be ready to go.
yeah, but it's like it's basically hopefully you can always return. Like it's always like gonna be like maybe next year, hopefully maybe like a couple months even. It's like because I know my sister obviously wrestles too, and like she's been dying to get back into the ring. But
Oh
like
yeah.
so do you have any little backstory about like anything, like maybe funny stories or something
Oh
from your
God.
traveling days?
Traveling. Everybody asks this. I've honestly had pretty like normal normal trips. I've gone to the state. America, like wrestling, like indie wrestling, it's like a whole different field. It's like a whole different like atmosphere.
Hmm.
It's weird. Like we were, I think it was in Pittsburgh, and we
Hmm.
drove up, and there's like this weird abandoned church looking thing, and
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, and I'm like looking at it. They're like, "This is where we wrestle," and I'm like, what? And it wasn't. It was totally like something behind it, but like it was
Oh
sketchy.
okay.
I've slept in a church. Uh, there's a sanctuary in Pennsylvania. It's a
Oh yeah.
church. You sleep there, yeah. Snowstorms and everything is awful. Um, what have I done? I've not done anything like super crazy. Like I can tell you something that I'm afraid of when I come back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Really
Go ahead.
embarrassing. I'm afraid I'm gonna pee myself because apparently that happens after pregnancies.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen to you.
Oh my God, I just there's like all these different things. I don't know. I'm probably when I come back, I'll probably cut back how many shows I do
Yeah,
just because
definitely.
I'm going back to school and I have the baby and I want him to watch me. Like
Mm.
that's my goal. Like is if I can get to the point where he can just be old enough to remember that I did this, then I'll be good. That's my goal now.
So as a Canadian wrestler, like what do you like? Do you think it's harder to get to the States, or do you think it's like you're more sought after?
It depends. Honestly, like for me, I didn't have to really do much. I just networked with people here and then they needed people to ride with, so I'd go. Because technically we're not supposed to go over there and do
Mm.
that. So, it I don't think it really like there's a lot more America has all like there's a lot more women in America like
Oh
that
yeah.
rest. Like Ontario is its own bubble and there's
Mhm.
like people in the West Coast and the East Coast, but like America is like there's so many. Like I'm in a woman like there's like women's groups and stuff like that and like there's just so many of them. So I mean like if you
Yeah.
can get out there and do it and get your name out there, it's amazing. It's an experience. Like I like American food, so I'm always glad to go. But it can be fun, it can be tiring, exhausting. I've gone to West Virginia for instance, like but like that's like an 8-hour drive. So
Yeah,
you're literally
definitely.
going there for like nothing and then like you can't even bring merch pretty much because if you get caught with it you're going to be turned around because you
Yeah.
can't it's an experience. I don't regret any of it, but yeah.
So you've wrestled pretty much everywhere at this point.
North America except for Mexico.
That's coming,
Uh-uh.
maybe.
Hey, my friend Warhead had he frequent like he was starting to go to Mexico, and then
Oh
there's
yeah.
Hardbody who also trained at Battle Arts, who
Mhm.
like lived in Mexico. It's like some of these kids like could do that. I'm like I can't do that.
Yeah, it's surprising I actually just heard of Hard Body because I watched a little bit of old Battle Art stuff
Yeah,
with my sister. It's actually really really good.
that was when he was 16 and young and innocent. And now he's just dirty. Yeah, there's a lot of like Battle Arts people that I think people forget we're at Battle Arts, and then you see them
Mhm.
now. Like there's like some weird evolution stuff with them. Like
Yeah.
it's really interesting to see.
But I feel like it's better that you're known not exactly for your training, you're known for what you've done after because it kind of makes you seem like you made it as a wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you made it in the end, like I love what I do. I love who I wrestle for.
Yeah.
Um, I love all the. I've had some like within like the 4-ish years now that I've been doing this.
Hmm.
I've wrestled for House of Hardcore, which was one of my favorite shows ever, and I met Tommy Dreamer, and he was one of my favorite wrestlers.
Oh, I
I
love Tommy Dreamer.
wrestled. Yeah, he's amazing. I wrestled Madison Rain twice.
Oh yeah?
I've wrestled Angelina Love once.
Really?
Yeah, and so honestly, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That was like I I was given opportunities. I might not be the strongest wrestler out there, but like those were amazing. Just the fact that I got to do these, and they were down to do my gimmick, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah. But because it definitely gets your name out there fighting those people like from Impact and stuff.
Yeah, well, and they're really nice people. Like I
Yeah.
was so scared that they were going to be like these like moody people because they've been in the business for so long, but honestly, they're a lot nicer than a lot of the girls that are out there right now that have only been doing this for like 3 or 4 years. Like they're really nice, and I could always reach out to them if I wanted to and talk to them and all that stuff, right? So
Yeah.
it's good relationships that you can make. Like they might not remember me now, but you know.
But at the time, they were good with you, so that's good.
Yeah, I didn't burn bridges there, so I'm happy.
Yeah. So you said you have merch. So what type of merch do you sell?
Okay, well I'm all out of merch right now. But I had for a while. Okay, so I went to the States and I bought these hats. They had
Mm-hmm.
hashtag selfie on it. Those sold like
Oh, those
I
are
sold
perfect for
those in the
you.
middle of summer. I sold those in the middle of summer. People
Yeah.
bought them. Anything I can find that has selfie on it, I will buy
Mm-hmm.
and I will sell because that's just genius. And I even bought my kid a little selfie like onesie, and it's really
Aw.
girly. I bought it before I knew what his gender was, but I still make him wear it. I got some pictures, which I need new promo pictures because they're all pretty old.
Mm.
And then I have 2 T-shirt designs now, so I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna have these 2 T-shirts. It's gonna be awesome. um, but I'm starting to like I've played with ideas like phone cases, but then that's just too expensive and
Yeah.
no one's gonna care. Nobody really uses like those god awful like
Like
cases that.
graphic ones.
Yeah, like people are just all about the clear because like phones are coming out with like these new like sophisticated colors. So it's like,
So as a wrestler, what would you say your favorite match is?
like that I've done.
Yeah, that you've done.
Actually, one of my favorite matches was Demand Lucha at Lee's Palace against Warhead.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first like ever match where I used weapons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this is like one of the first times like I used to work at a bar downtown Toronto before it closed
Yeah.
down, and all my regulars came to support me.
Oh,
They
that's
bought
great.
yeah, so I have a really good fan base with my regulars. But it was just like a lot. Like he was the first person to kind of show me how fun wrestling can be. Like there was a lot of people. I was obviously I'm always scared when I go out there. I'm always freaking out. Um, but he was able to like kind of demonstrate to me that just go with it and just
Mhm.
go with the flow. He even knocked the wind out of me by accident. But it was one of the most fun I've had in a match in a while.
Yeah.
Like that one's like always like a go-to. Like that was really fun. And that's why I keep wrestling for him or with him. Like he's got my back, so I trust him.
Yeah, definitely. So, as like a former champion, how does it feel when you won your first championship as a wrestler?
So my first championship ever was Chinlock. I
Mhm.
was the inaugural heavyweight champion,
Oh wow.
and the belt was given to me by Steamboat.
Ooh,
Yeah, so like
that
that.
must have been crazy.
So I was that entire day. So we had like a seminar and all this stuff, and like this is my first time wrestling in Kingston. My family's gonna come to this,
Mhm.
and everybody's like we just do the seminar, and like I can't eat. Like I'm
Yeah.
scared. I'm about to enter a rumble at my first rumble ever.
Hmm.
So I'm like the ropes are higher than I am. I swear to God they are. So I'm going into this rumble with
Hmm.
a bunch of guys, a bunch of them battle arts guys, a bunch of guys I've never even met before,
Yeah.
and I win. And I come in at like 16 or whatever. So it's not like, but I was in there for a good chunk of time,
Yeah.
and I was getting beat up because I'm a little girl. So
Hmm.
obviously they're gonna come pick on me or whatever. But yeah, so I was so dehydrated.
Oh
I
yeah.
would be crying tears if I had moisture in my body because I was so dehydrated. I was so scared, so nervous, and insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Definitely.
that's, again, one of the experiences that I can take with me when I retire is, like, Steamboat gave me my first belt, and then
Exactly.
and then a month later, I won the Young Blood belt for Death Proof, and it was just like, yay.
So, how many championships have you won in your career?
Well, currently, I am the Cale Murphy Memorial Champion for Chinlock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I have that. And then I was tag team champ for Acclaimed, but we
Mm-hmm.
lost it. And then Youngblood for Death Proof, which I'm still technically the holder. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, the Chinlock heavyweight. So yeah, those are. I really want to win a women's belt. That's kind of like another goal of mine. Is just, even if it's for like a month, I just want to win a
Yeah.
women's belt, because all of them have been predominantly male belts. So I kind of just, I want the title of being like the best woman in this roster right now, you know?
I mean, technically, if you win male belts, that technically means that you're the best woman because you already have beaten men.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just, there's something different about. I just feel like
Yeah.
there's just like a little bit more. It's just different. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just hard to explain.
It's kind of like you just want to be the best in your own division, kind of like, I guess.
Yeah, like, well, Acclaim's pretty good for using women to like their full potential.
Yeah.
Um, they have been, I think there was a time where all women had the belts, like heavyweight, women's belt, tags, like they really push for the women. Like, they don't want them to be like a side attraction. They want them
Mhm.
to be viewed as like the roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not like the attraction.
Yeah.
They're
They want to be
they're
viewed as wrestlers.
yeah. So like they've been really good for that, and that's why I really like wrestling for them, because
Yeah.
they bring me in every time. Like, they really respect their women there, and it's probably, if you're ever in Ottawa and the World's Open, you should go check it out.
Oh, definitely. I definitely will. So that's probably exactly why you were a little bit more intimidated doing the Revolution show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when nothing's changed, we're all like
Yeah.
20 plus, but women
Mhm.
are still women. They're not the nicest. Like, I mean, I try to be better. Like, I try to, like, I've had heat with people in the past, but I
Mhm.
think I've gone to a point in my life where I'll talk about, like, I'll just figure out what our problem is. We'll talk about it. And like, for the younger girls, I just want to be somebody that they can come to,
Mhm.
because it's scary. It's a scary business sometimes when you go in and you don't, like, even like the speak out movement, right? I don't
Mhm.
want any of the girls to go through the speak out movement at all. Like, I want them
Yeah.
to be like, come to me and I can talk you through it. I'm like, just don't let these men take advantage of you. And that's kind of what I do now. I want people to be okay, because
Yeah.
it's a male dominant world, or it's a male dominant industry. But I've
Yeah.
been in male dominant industry since I was like 14, so I kind of feel like I'm going to be that person that's going to call people out now. Like no.
But it's good that you're a role model to all the younger ones.
Well, that's what because I didn't really, I felt like I really didn't have that for like, and I finally did get it.
Yeah.
Like, there are women that I love, um, and I can talk to them and they can, set me in the right direction. But some of them are just awful. They're just so bad. But I mean, that's, you see in a high school, like, it's still here.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. You get your people that are complete assholes, and you get the people that are the sweetest people in the world.
Yeah. So I try to be. Well, I'm a mouthy piece of shit sometimes. Like, but that that's me. And I think once people understand that that's me, then they become more comfortable. I just kind of project that.
Yeah.
So,
So one question I have for you, as I know it's obviously hard for you to be a fan of wrestling, like as just a fan, but as a fan, what would you say is your favorite match?
oh man, I should have thought of this. Um, I really, I don't know. There's been some really good. Oh, do you know? Like, I'm trying to think. Honest to God, I've been pretty high on Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks match,
Mm, that was an amazing match.
and like, it's not even just, it's what, like, it was just the meaning behind the match. It was a match that was bigger than them in a way because they were women of color and they were women main eventing WrestleMania, which women have done that already, but two women of color, and
Yeah.
they killed it. And I've like there's so many matches that I love, but like for me, like watching that, it was huge to me. And
Yeah.
like they could have totally shit the bed. I think I would have still loved every second of that match.
Because it's the more the meaning of the match than the match itself.
Yeah, like you have to kind of take yourself out of like the fan aspect and just kind of
Mhm.
look at what's being presented to you like as a
Yeah.
whole. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, honest to God, I think that match could have gone either way for me. That match could have like they could have botched like 6 different spots and I would have still been like, that's amazing. Like it was just they've worked like women as like women wrestlers have worked so hard, right? And
Yeah.
they've pushed to not be the panty and bra matches. They've pushed to be like one of the guys. Like they
Mhm.
want to be like that, and we're finally there.
Yeah.
Like we're there. People are starting to like recognize women as like strong fighters that can actually wrestle, and for them to do that at WrestleMania with all of like this like the pressure and Bianca just like she just coming up from NXT and like they haven't done anything with her really and
Yeah, I know.
she just did it and I'm just like I had all the faith in the world.
And
it
it's
was a huge
also
moment.
oh, sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
But for me, it's kind of like when Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, like it's the first women's main event since we got fans back, so it's like it makes it even more special
Oh
because
yeah.
like yeah, that even made it more special to me because like honestly, like the match itself was really good, but like the fact that it was the main event with fans back, it made it even better.
Yeah, no, well, I'm sitting here watching them with fans and like I get goosebumps now thinking about it. Like I have social anxiety. I hate crowds. Like I hate them. The reason why I wrestle is because I'm not in the crowd. But like just to hear the fans, I'm just like it hit different. Everything hit different. And
Hmm.
I'm so glad that America's able to just lift the thing and not give a shit. Because I'm like, you know what? You're gonna have fans. I'm like, this is all I needed in life.
Yeah, I just can't wait for Canada to jump on that bandwagon with the fans and everything.
Oh, the rest of Canada is gonna jump on the bandwagon. Ontario is not. We are
Uh,
stuck and we are screwed. Oh, I hate our government sometimes. Oh,
let's not get too much into that because we still live here.
I know. That's where I'm at right now. Is just like I laugh at it. Like that's where I'm at. That's the level. Like there's nothing
Yeah,
I can do about it. Like, that's where I'm at.
yeah, definitely. That's how I'm at too. So I
I'm
wake
so
up every
tired.
day. I'm just like, I just wake up every day, see the case, and just go back to bed. I'm just like, just screw this shit.
I actually okay. To be fair though, I had COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was fine.
Sucked.
I was fine. I was asymptomatic. My baby was asymptomatic apparently, and then my boyfriend lost his taste and smell.
Mm.
That's it. And he wouldn't eat carrots. And like, so I made, so this guy can't taste anything, right? And his least favorite thing in the world is cooked carrots. So I gave it to him. And he's like, I'm not eating this. I'm like, you can't even taste it. Yeah, no, I'm just tired. That's all. I'm just
So I
tired
just
of
have a
this
couple more questions for you.
shit.
So, what are your personal goals and aspirations for like your career?
Just make it till my kid can remember that I kicked a lot of ass. Honestly, he's almost 7 months now. He watches wrestling with us, so I mean, I
Oh,
don't think he knows anything. I don't know how much he can see, but um, yeah, I don't know. I just want him to see me. Like, I brought the oldest step kid to the one of the Kingston shows, and he was like screaming and yelling, and he was like so like happy and pumped. Like, I want Negan to do that. Like,
yeah.
that's my goal. Like.
That's a great goal to have as a mother, definitely.
Like, I mean, it sounds really weird, but I just I want him to like just. I don't. It's like a really weird. I don't know why that's my goal. Like that's the end game. Like as soon as he was born, that was like one of the first things I thought about. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do now. Like it was like automatic thought, and then I fell
Well, yeah.
asleep.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
personally, your son has to be your first priority. So if that's what you like and that's what you want him, you want to make sure that he remembers you as a wrestler. That's a good thing.
yeah. And like so, I wrestle. His dad wrestles.
Yes.
So I mean, he might not be able to watch his dad wrestle anytime soon because he does all the hardcore stuff. So probably won't fly, but
Yeah. Okay, so one last question for you. So this is like kind of the weirdest question to end off, but any hobbies outside of wrestling that you do or partake in?
well, I took a year off school, so I'm in school for event management. So I'm probably gonna plan like honestly parties. I'm probably gonna plan weddings. I'm very detail oriented that way. My life is
Okay.
a complete chaotic mess, but I can organize events, parties, everything. So I think that's just what I'm going to be focusing on after I graduate, that and wrestling.
If you don't mind, can you just like repeat the first part? I didn't really hear that. Someone like talked to me from the side. Sorry.
Is it your sister?
Yeah.
You want me to kick your butt? 'Cause I will.
No, it's okay.
Um, no, so I go to school for event management. It's pretty much what I was saying.
Okay.
So I'll be going back September to finish my last year because I took time off for the baby. And then, yeah, I'm pretty much just going to run with that. That being a mom, and I mean, that's really busy.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that's a lot.
Mm.
I don't know. We'll see where the world is when I graduate.
Hopefully, it's a lot better.
If not, you'll see me with a inflatable pool on my balcony, drinking wine or something. I don't know, whatever moms do.
I don't see too many moms kicking ass in a ring, so
I
you
know,
got that on
like,
them.
keep going. That's what I've been trying to build my TikTok is babies doing
Oh
cute
yeah.
things and then my wrestling.
All right. So speaking of social media, do you have any
Oh
social medias you like
God.
to plug?
Always gotta remember that every time somebody asks me this, I don't remember anything. So
Yeah,
my
I watched your last podcast and it was funny at the end.
oh my God, someone just called me up for that too. So it's Jessie Mack wrestles is my TikTok.
Mhm.
Jessie Mack underscore XOX or no, that's your sister. Crap. Jessie Mack underscore XO for Twitter and Instagram. I have a fan page, but it's not very active, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, is that everything?
My life's a mess. I live in an apartment building. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and there's like 5 of us on a good day. Okay, like
Okay.
I'm kicking this COVID ass. Okay.
All right. So anything else you like to share?
Oh, good.
All right. It was great having you, and hopefully when everything does open up, we can have you back again.
I'll
All
probably
right.
be a lot more put together.
So we hope.
Uh,
So it was great having you, and yeah. So my next podcast is with Jamie Franchuk, I believe. So hopefully you guys watch that. I hope you guys like this podcast with Jessie Mack, and see you guys next time. We out.